Today at Manchester Theatres, it is my pleasure to be joined by the wonderful Bruce Herbelin-Earle, who is currently touring with the Talented Mr Ripley, coming to Lowry from the 17th of November. Now, of course, you may have seen Bruce in the Emmy Award-winning Netflix series and films Free Reign, or in the film The Boys in the Boat, directed by the brilliant George Clooney, in Channel 5's 15 Days, or some indie films like Open All Night. But of course, today we're here to talk all about the world of glamour, deception, and ambition as we delve into Mr. Ripley's world. So thank you so much for joining me today to talk about, like, it's just an iconic story, this one, by now, isn't it? There's been so many versions of it, all brilliant. So can you tell us a little bit about the stage version and how it pans out?
Yeah, well, that was a great introduction. So thank you very much, Karen. Yeah, well, I think what's really, really great about our production is that whether you know the story or not, we are doing really interesting things on stage. It's been directed by Mark Leipacker, who is a fantastic creative, collaborative director, and uses a lot of minimalism in the show. There's a big platform in the center of the stage, and with lights all around. It's in this big sort of light cage. So we play a lot with lights and sound, and the set is very minimalist. We're drinking from martini glasses without any liquid in it. But so the story really relies heavily on the acting and just the ambiance and the atmosphere all around. So we're coming to the Lowry. Come and see it, whether you're a fan of the material or not. We do really great things, and it might be worth coming to watch, because I think we might send you home with a big smile on your face.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And it follows this kind of story of your character, Dickie Greenleaf, who
Yes.
is kind of a trust fund baby. He's very wealthy, he's living it up large, and then through some kind of mistaken identity, he basically gets cloned almost through this character, Tom Ripley. So I don't want to give too much away about what happens in the relationship between these two characters, but I do want to ask, do you think at any point that your character, Dickie, could have done or said or acted any differently towards Tom Ripley to have brought about a different outcome, let's say?
100%. And it's actually an element that we explore on stage. Tom is being haunted by these figures in long coats and hats, and they really manipulate and control his story, essentially. So when Tom makes a mistake, they're right on his case. And without giving too much away either, it's all created by the ensemble, who are fantastic. We're a cast of 11. They're some of the best guys I've ever worked with. We're on tour we take a little Christmas break after Manchester, but then we're on tour from January until May. So it's a long old road we still got to go down, and what really is making this an enjoyable experience is working with these guys, and it's the only way the show survives, really, because imagine if we were all bickering and there was she said, he said behind the scenes, but there's not. And I'm so grateful. So I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, come check it out. If you have some time, come check it out, because it's definitely an enjoyable night.
And how would you describe your character then? How would you, if you had to kind of like say, oh, and this is Dickie Greenleaf, how would you kind of describe him to someone?
He has quite a lot of dislikable traits, but he's so charming and quite charismatic that you kind of feel, oh, bless him. It's like you like him for a lot more reasons than you do hate him, you know. But I just imagine, like, if he was one of my mates, I'd be like, you know, this kind of stuff that Dickie does, I'd be rolling my eyes, you know. It's like, oh, that's just Dickie, you know.
Yeah.
But bless him, he's quite impulsive for good and bad reasons. You know, he's living his life. He's happy-go-lucky. He gets anything and everything he wants. You know, so just imagine what kind of character like that. You know, if you were mates with this character, what that would kind of entail. But he's so much fun, and there are so many ways to play this guy. And I've been having so much fun, like, figuring it out on stage. Especially with Ed, it feels like we're in a game of tennis, and Maisie too. The three of us, we're just it's quite a magical experience. And this is my first theatre job. And each week we're going and playing at all these great venues all around the country. So, like, I'm having the best experience. And just really exploring what I'm like on stage, how it makes me, you know, all this great stuff. I'm learning a lot. So it's such a great experience.
Because I bet that's like you say, it's your first sort of time on stage doing something like this. And like you've just been saying there, I suppose it's really different for you then, because you really get to get your teeth into the character in a way that you don't have time to necessarily do the same, because once you've filmed a scene, it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Big time. And, you know, sometimes things go wrong. Or I try something and it's like, it feels, no, it doesn't feel like the decision I want to go with. But like, I get to do it the next night. So, like, the pressure's off, you know. It's like I'm taking care of myself in that way. You know, I'm not thinking about things too much. And when I am, Ed is right there. My whole cast are right there to just support me and feel very safe, you know. Feel very safe.
It's amazing.
It's a bit of a luxury of a job, really, and I don't really want it to end. So yeah.
Well, then we won't. We'll just keep it going.
And that's it. And I mean, listen, it's so early to say, but there's talk of this going to the West End. You know, it's quite a practical show that we could, you know, it's there's that little glimmer of hope. But, you know, no expectations, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And the joy as well, like you've said with your character, and you mentioned Ed there, who plays Tom Ripley. I mean, his character as well, there's a lot to like and dislike, but it messes with your head a little bit more than his, because you're kind of like thinking, he is so evil and twisted. Yeah, I really like him. There's just some charm, and it messes with your head. And I think that's, for the audience watching it as well, that's the joy, because you're watching these characters going, oh, I like them. Oh God, they really did that. I don't. And you're like, am I supposed to like them? Am I not supposed to like them? And it's just brilliant, isn't it? They're so complex.
It is. Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very enjoyable watch. Very watchable.
So with the two characters, there's an element, I'm trying not to give too much away for people who don't know it, but there's an area of deception where, I hope I'm not saying too much, where Tom tries to impersonate, let's say, your character Dickie.
Yeah.
Now, you and Ed don't necessarily look like each other. So is that done through kind of audience suspending their disbelief, or have you had some like cheeky chats with costume and wigs and things like that? So how's it done?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I can, you know, there's a scene where Tom tries on a shirt of Dickie's, and he, you know, he shows you how that makes him feel, and through rehearsals, Ed and I were having chats about how we can get some of the same mannerisms down, and what, you know, you've seen Dickie be this sort of super hit, it's like super cool, very suave guy, moves very loosely, and I think it was effective for Ed to get that down in rehearsals, so that we sold the story like Tom had a grip on what Dickie was like, and therefore can go and do the things that he needs to do. And I don't remember that ever being like too much of like a strenuous thing to work out. We figured it out quite quick.
Yeah.
Which is great because we didn't have a lot of time. So from the offset, I knew I was gonna enjoy exploring all that with Ed, for sure, definitely.
And with there being so many versions of this, you've got the original book, then the film, then the Netflix series and films. Are you, because everyone's different, so are you someone who kind of loves to absorb all of that so you've got as much information as possible, or are you the kind that goes, I don't want to be influenced, I'm going to avoid it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to try the juice,
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Sure. I read the book. I'd not read the book before, so I read the book. I'd seen the film, rewatched the film. But I stayed away from the Netflix series, actually. I just think, the Netflix series is its own thing, and it did. But there are crossovers between, there are similarities between the Netflix film, our stage adaptation, the film, Hollywood film, and the book. There are beautiful similarities between them all. So they all come from the same universe. But no, I watched them and tried the juice. I got the sense of the essence of Dickie, and then I just wanted to like fill in the rest of the painting with what I wanted to do and what I know feels good for me. And just exploring, as I said before, Dickie, that there are so many ways to play. The scene to scene emotional changes are dynamic enough in that, like, I can sculpt something quite different day to day, show to show, and I think that's quite rare when you get a role like that. But with that, it's hard to pinpoint exactly and be very specific about what Dickie is. So we're coming up to the end. I think this is our 9th week. We're coming up to week 9, and it's taken all this time for me to get quite. I want to narrow in a little more, and be a little more specific with it from now. Because I've spent all this time just like figuring out how it feels and the audience reaction. It's like I'm learning, you're taking notes each day and you're asking your castmates things, and you just want to get more believable and more in that essence. So yeah, it's with so much choice comes the con of being, finding it a little bit more difficult to be very specific with it.
So I have to ask, on a complete aside, just because I absolutely love him a little bit always, what was it like working with George Clooney?
He is how he is.
Yeah.
Hollywood anecdotes. He'd come over, chat to us in between. Obviously, we were all sat down. There's a lot of waiting on film sets and things. So we were all chilling. It was summer. Lovely guy. We played basketball. He has a great core team who he's been working with for the last couple projects, and the thing works like clockwork. So we spent 8 weeks working out, learning how to row. He came, visited us, gave us a little pep talk, told us to get our arse in gear because we have a big job to do. And we just kind of hopped on board the Clooney bus, really, and we made the film we shot for 3 months after our training, and I made some fantastic friends, and it was a great project, especially during COVID, and I was very grateful to have picked up that job. I was very fortunate, very lucky. So I don't take it for granted, that job.
So you've experienced the Hollywood glamour. You've now experienced Dickie's glamour and his lifestyle. So if you were kind of not necessarily him, but if you had access to the kind of funds for real,
Yeah.
what would your luxury life look like?
I'd probably buy a house by the sea
Mm.
and live there.
Yes, that sounds perfect.
Like if I could. And just, yeah, that's what I'd do.
Yeah. Well, you never know where Dickie's going to take us. So thank you so,
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us today to talk so wonderfully and in depth about the talented Mr. Ripley. It's been an absolute pleasure. And as we said, you can catch Bruce and his cast at the Lowry from the 17th of November. It's only there for a few days, so make sure you grab your tickets really, really quickly. It's one not to miss.
Have you ever had the feeling that you're being watched or followed? If there's a sensation I hate, it's being followed. And lately I've had that all the time. Dickie Greenleaf.
Yes,
Tom Ripley, I met you in the States several years ago, remember?
this is Marge Sherwood. Marge, Tom Ripley.
How do you do?
How do you do? First step is to make Dickie like me. I want that more than anything in the whole world. I offered you friendship. Now you want to shove me out in the cold. I never wanted to murder anyone. It was necessary.
You killed him.
Marge?
Murderer!
Have you ever had the feeling that you're being watched or followed? Do you check over your shoulder to see if there's someone behind you? What did you do? And did you get away with it?